What's up, guys? Happy 2023. We are back with a new season of The Boss Life with Bonds. This is officially the start of the third season. And it's just been really cool to have this show. And I want to thank everyone that has supported it, whether sharing it in your story, listening to it, catching these lives. I want to just send a big thank you for helping me, for giving me a reason to keep doing it. It got a lot of good feedback, and you guys got to watch the seasons. Good morning, ladies. You got to see me go through my like super masculine season where I'm like, go hard or go home, no excuses, rah rah rah. And then you get to see me like transition into more of my like flowy feminine, like, yo, let's slow down, let's go within, let's meditate, let's light some candles. Good morning, Meredith. And now the season we're in right now is like the alignment of both of them, where I'm like, let's freaking go, and then also but also let's go within. So it's been an awesome journey, and I would love to hear and see more of your journey. I would love to hear any feedback. If any episodes have helped you kind of step more into your journey, whatever you want to call it, I'm here for it. But I'm also here to wrap this up in less than 30 minutes, because after this, I'm going live to talk about red flags in the coaching space, but really just to help give guidance to people that are just starting their journey and have no idea where to start. As someone that has been in the fitness space online and in person, I want to give you a little bit of guidance. Like, I'm not gonna shit on anyone. I'm just gonna help you figure out what makes most sense for you. So on today's topic, we're talking about whether you should have a life coach or a therapist, and this is woo, maybe a touchy topic for some people, but I'm just going to spit to you what I have learned in my experience. And again, this is information that can either help you make a better choice about what direction to go in. You do with it what you will. Okay? Okay. So this prompted this question, or this podcast episode popped up in my head because I've gotten an overwhelming amount of messages from people that have been watching me or following me for a while, and finally got the courage to reach out to me, because I don't push the life coaching so much right now, because we are rebuilding the fitness aspect of Mind and Body Fit, and or Mind and Body Co. And once Mind and Body Fit is up and running and I can fully step away from it, then I'm going to start directing my attention back to creating things like the women's mindset mastery container. I'm still not really sure how I'm going to package that, who it's going to be for. But I'm definitely working on different options for people to, for me to work with them. One-on-one is awesome, but it also is extremely draining on me, because it's a big, huge energetic exchange. And so with that energetic exchange, and with all of the work that goes into helping someone rewire their mindset, it does take a lot for me to do one-on-one coaching. So I'm going to try to move away from that, only work with a few people a month, and then really focus on Mind and Body Fit. But more importantly, well, not more importantly, Mind and Body Fit, because that's kind of like the flow part, right? But really work on creating programs or a container or a membership where women can come and we can do live master classes on certain topics that I know you guys are asking about, and I can bring some of my friends, coaches, practitioners, Reiki practitioner, all these people with their specialties in areas that I don't specialize in. That master class will be a part of it. Every month you'll have a new master class. You'll also get a free gift every single month, whether it's from the Mind and Body store, whether it's something from me. Like, we're going to make sure that we give you a free gift every month, and planning that is quite the project. So it's going to be a while, but nonetheless, when people do reach out to me for life coaching, one of the first things that they mention is, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling anxious, or I need motivation, or something along those lines. And since they see me doing fitness, and since they see me doing a lot of mindset coaching and spirituality, they're not really clear on what I do. And just to be like transparent, a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are like, I don't know what you do. And I'm like, well, I change mofos' lives if they're ready for it. That's what I do. But anywho, the messages that would come in. And 2 years ago, when I first started online, I was so eager to help everyone that if someone came to me with a problem and it was not something that I was well versed in, I would literally go make myself an expert in it. I would research, I would spend hours Googling and researching, trying to figure out what their issue was, and if I could, learn how to help them with it as I took them. And that helped me learn a lot about a lot of things very quickly, but it also caused me to burn out. And so I wanted to talk to anyone who is in a similar situation where you're listening to the live, you're listening to the podcast, and let's be honest, Facebook and social media are full of trash. And so you may come across my page or someone else's page like it, and you're like, ah, a breath of fresh air, ah, a swift kick in the ass that I needed. I should probably work with her. Here's something that you may want to consider before looking at myself as a coach for you or anybody else. The difference between a life coach and a therapist, there's so many differences, but I'll start with some of the educational ones. Number one, just being real with you, no, there is no regulation in the coaching space. There's the ICF, the International Coaching Foundation or Federation, I believe, and I am who I got certified through for life coaching. They are a part of that. However, with that said, it's not like in a gym where every trainer in there has to be certified, like in the gym has to approve it, whatever. Therapist, and now this gets even more nuanced, right? Okay. So life coaches, there's no regulation in the space, meaning I could be an absolute batshit crazy person, and that's just a chance that you're going to have to take. But so could someone else who's gone to school. So they just have a degree. But when you look at it in another nuanced viewpoint, where you have a therapist, you have a psychologist, and you have a psychiatrist. I don't believe that therapists have to have a PhD. I should have researched that before hopping on here. And psychologists are going to do more with the inner workings of your mind, and a psychiatrist can prescribe you medications for chemical imbalances and things like that. So you need to think about what is your objective? Because if you've got let's say lifelong traumas, and we all do, but if they have affected you or paralyze you in such a way that you cannot move forward productively, they don't need one. Thank you, Meredith, and good morning, Kathy. So I don't think a therapist, I'm pretty sure, and I think that you can become a therapist without a 4-year degree. I think you can be, because licensed means, like an LPN licensed nurse, they have a 2-year degree. So I believe that a therapist has a 2-year degree, and that's not knocking anybody. I'm just letting you understand where they're at and what you're going for. So a therapist is someone who is going to probably talk you through some of your issues. And from what I'm hearing from my clients, they'll give you tools and they will talk you through your issues. But when it comes down to deep psychological concerns and issues of the mind, psychosis, stuff like that, you would probably want to work with a psychologist, right? And that is something that might take a longer time. Psychologists and psychiatrists both practice therapy, but to become a licensed therapist, it's not the same amount of education. So I'm not shitting on therapists in any way, shape, or form, but I don't think that a lot of people understand the difference between a therapist, a psychologist, and a psychiatrist. So now that you understand that space, there's 3 of them over there. Now let's line those up together. Do you want to work with a therapist or a doctor of the mind, or do you want to work with a life coach, and why? So when someone comes to me and tells me that they are depressed, that they are full of anxiety, and that they're lacking motivation, that used to be oh my gosh, I can help this person. And now it's, oh my gosh, they probably need more than the bandwidth that I have to offer them, right? Because when I first started, I had all the time and all the space in the world to help everybody that came my way, and I'd research. But now it's I have a community full of clients, and I have this thing that I'm building, and I have a team, and I don't really have the time to become an expert on everybody's situation to help them. So, and this has happened a lot lately, where someone will tell me what they're dealing with, and I will be like, you know what? I have a friend, his name is Tyler, and he literally helps women and people overcome their anxiety within no time. I've directed so many clients in his direction because that is his specialty. Okay. Tyler, myself, and life coaches, we have different tools that we use because we like to get clients rapid resolutions. Whereas someone going to therapy, you may want to, here's the thing. If you're dealing with a lot of deep, heavy trauma, going into it real quick and real deep can be even more traumatic for you. And if you don't have a very strong mindset, that might cripple you even more. I literally went through that this summer when I was doing shadow work with my therapist and or my psychologist, right? And dude took me to a very dark place, and I could have stayed there, but I just kind of, I've realized this was necessary. I had to come face to face with this, and I let it strengthen me. And I'm not saying I'm, better than anyone, but I can see how doing stuff like that could take you to a much darker place. And if you're not equipped to handle it, you might want to be in the care of someone who, has 4+ years of schooling on this. So there's that. But going back to what Tyler and I do, we use things like neuro-linguistic programming or neuro-associative programming to help you change the association that your mind has with certain situations, and that can produce rapid results. So that's some of the stuff coaches do. Therapists and psychologists can do it too as well, but let's just be honest, our programs are set up a little bit differently. I get happy and feel satisfied and fulfilled when I can help someone reach their goals in that amount of time that they're working with me, whether it's 4 months or 6 months. Whereas a therapist, if they help you solve your problems within 4 to 6 months, well, now they don't have a client. You may decide you don't need their help anymore, right? Just being real. I think that a lot of people, most of us should still go to ongoing therapy so you can have someone to talk to, but just looking at it from that perspective. Another big difference is that, like, if you are going through depression and anxiety, a life coach and a personal trainer is not, me personally. Now we're going to talk about me personally. I was just talking about the difference between a coach and a therapist. Biggest difference is that a life coach usually, or a therapist and someone working on your mind, is going to take you back and deal with past trauma and help you heal through those things, or help you heal with your ongoing daily stresses, that sort of thing. A life coach should be the person that you go to when you have a specific obstacle or goal that you're trying to reach that you can't on your own. You don't know the steps, you don't have the accountability, you don't have the system, you don't believe in yourself enough, whatever, and then we go from there. So those are the two biggest differences. Like, we have a clear end goal. Like, you came to me because you want this, and so this is what we're going to do to get there. Whereas therapy, there's not always an end goal. It can just be like, I'm not happy. Can you unwire this thing and help me figure out why? So that's the biggest difference, right? Narrowing that down now and just talking about me specifically as a life coach, here's why or why not you'd want to work with me. Number one, I give tough love, and not just for the hell of it, but because I know how the brain works. We learn through intensity or through repetition. That's why some people may need therapy ongoing, because they're learning to think differently over a period of time. So that is the repetition. Whereas I don't have time to fuck around, and you don't either if you paid me a good amount of money to be your coach for 4 to 6 months. So in that 4 to 6 months, I'm going to lovingly call you out on the toxic, destructive cycles that I see. I'm going to give you the tools to handle them. Everyone will be different. Some people I do need to do a little shadow work with. Some people I do need to help them go into their inner child. Some people I do need to have them, it's not hypnosis, I'm not a hypnosis, but I do need to have them close their eyes and tap into their subconscious and start like moving things around the way that they view the world. And those things can produce rapid changes. And those are very soft, loving techniques. On the other hand, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you because you said you wanted a result. And if I continue to let you keep making these little sad bitch ass excuses, you're going to be in the same spot you were when we first started. So that's one of the biggest differences with me. Also, when you hire a coach or even an independent therapist or whatnot, you may get a little bit more personalization in the process. Because right there, I'm dropping F-bombs. Your therapist or your psychologist probably won't be dropping F-bombs. So if you want something that's a little more professional setting, then go that route. But if you're looking for something that is a little more relatable to you and something that's going to, like, you know, wake you up out of your default mode, then a coach, and a strict coach, may be something. And not even strict. Don't think of me as strict. Just think of me as like the kick in the ass that you're not giving yourself. So I'm not doing it to bully you. I'm doing it because I have been in your situation where I said I wanted to do something and I knew what I had to do, but I couldn't just get up and do it every day or whatever it was. And then it really took like that intensity. Like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Yo, you're going to end up just like your dad. Yo, you're going to be stuck here just like all these people miserable with their lives at this job that they hate if you don't do something now. Oh, snap, you're right. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So those would be the two biggest differences for me. And now I want to share a little, I won't say sob stories, but just like when things went wrong, when I took clients that should have went to therapists. And I've mentioned this one before, where I had a woman that was fresh out of a divorce. And in the beginning, she was all hyped, like, yeah, girl, I'm taking my life back. I'm so excited. These are the goals that I want to do. And these are the dreams that I want to do. And then like midway through our sessions, it became apparent that she was very depressed. And there were like calls in the middle of the night, her crying, like I'm on the floor and this and that. And because I used to do youth ministry and I'm used to that, like my teenagers would message me during the day, Bonnie, I'm at school and I'm in the hallway crying. I hate everyone. And I'd be like, okay, sweetheart, what's going on? And I would just like run to the rescue, literally sometimes like drive to the high school and bring them food or something or have lunch with them. So that was kind of embedded in me to just be people's savior. And I noticed that in my coaching business, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I tried to be this woman's savior. She needed therapy, and neither one of us are happy with the end results. So we're never doing that again. So that's a red flag to me. When you reach out to me, the first thing that you tell me is depression, anxiety, and I don't have any motivation to get out of bed, I'm gonna be like, sweetheart, you don't need a coach. You need to do some inner work. Because if you're at the point where you are that low to where you can't even see where you want to go, we're not ready to work together yet. I'm not saying that I can't work with people that have depression or that are anxious or that lack motivation, but what I am saying is I'm not your magic ticket to helping you get those things. You still need to know where you want to go. That's why I used to always talk about how when people say they just want to be happy, I'm like, this is a very vague goal, and your subconscious mind is probably not going to get behind this. If you say, I want to leave this relationship and build a happy life where I feel free and confident and sexy, that is very specific. Your subconscious takes that as a command and is like, okay, let's get to it. But when you're just like, I just want to be happy, and yet you can't conjure up any images or any feelings that are likened to happiness, that's going to be that's more groundwork for me to do to get you to that point. And that's usually what happens is if I work with someone who's very deep in their story, it hasn't done the groundwork yet. We spend the majority of our time together doing the groundwork, and by the time they get to the end, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm finally awake now. I know what I want to do. And they're like, can we do this again? And it's like, yeah, it's a lot of money. And they're like, yeah, I'll come back to you in. And I'm like, and that's why I would like to say, like, before you do that, let's go ahead and do the groundwork first. And that could look different for everyone. That could mean grabbing some self-help books and actually reading them and doing the exercises on your own. That could mean getting online with BetterHelp. I think they're $50 a session, and getting a therapist. That could mean a lot of different things. That could mean getting some freaking tarot cards, and all they do is give you insightful questions, at least for mine. And doing that with yourself once a week and going deep and asking yourself the questions, so that when you do go to hire a coach, you actually have some direction and you know exactly what you're going for versus just help me be better. Right? That's a doctor. I'm not a doctor. So if you're looking at me or any of my team or any other coach and your first thought is, I need you guys to help me be better, I need you to understand that a doctor is the one that helps you be better. A coach is like, okay, this is what we want to create in your life. Oh my gosh, perfect. I love this. This is so exciting. These are the steps. Here's your game plan. And this is, oh, you also have this kind of fucked up ass limiting belief that's keeping you from it. Let's work on that. Oh, and this tendency, if left unchecked, is going to blow up into this. Let's work on that. That's what we do. I do not help people overcome their depression or their anxiety. That is far beyond the scope of my practice. And like I said, I have plenty of friends that I can refer you to. If you're someone dealing with anxiety, I would highly recommend you to my boy Why did I say Charlie? His name is Tyler, and his last name looks like Charlie Boy. He's from Canada, so I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. It's French Canadian. I don't know how to say his last name, but I will tag him in the show notes of this podcast, and I'll also drop his name below. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today, to really consider it. It's not that I'm trying to be rude. It's not that I don't want to help you. In fact, I want to help you get the best results. And that's only going to happen if you're actually ready. On that note, let me eat my bowl real quick. This is hash browns, right? I took 2 hash brown patties, smushed them up. Got some ground turkey that I prepped for breakfast so I could just come home from the gym and then some eggs and some hot sauce and some sour cream because fats. Let me think if there's anything else that I wanted to throw on here. Let me see something. Okay. Well, that is all that I had for you guys today. And I would love to hear from you. Like, what have you found works best? I found that I've had people that work with me while working with their therapist, and it's beautiful. Like, they tell their therapist some of the stuff that we're doing, and they're like, hey, that's like therapy stuff. Or I've had women that were like, yeah, I don't go see my therapist anymore because I get more from our sessions. And the only reason why someone would say that is because they were at that level where they didn't necessarily need the therapy anymore. So when I say statements like that, like, clients say they get more out of our sessions than they do therapy, it's because they probably they didn't know which way to go. Like, they went to a therapist when they were ready for a life coach, and vice versa. And then last but not least, I'll wrap it up. The first time I ever heard the term life coach, and this is beautiful for me. I'm gonna call her my girlfriend because I don't think we ever got to be serious. I may have like made that relationship more than it was in my head, and I fully accept that. I was depressed when I found her and fell in love with her, but I met her on Pride. I don't remember what year it was. I went down to St. Pete with a friend of mine and her boyfriend at the time, and we went to Pride, and we were just having the best time of our whole freaking life. And I remember I saw this person, and they looked, I couldn't tell. I'm like, is that a dude or is that a girl? I'm like, I don't know, but they're hot. And we ended up talking in this bar, and then we ended up talking the entire night, and it was just like this, like instantly clicked. And she was like, she had the dreads, and she was like all thugged out, and I was just so attracted to her. I was like, she's so badass. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I love everything about her. And I remember she said, yeah, my life coach, blah, 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 blah. And I looked at her and I was like, she is a life coach? Wow. And I didn't really like, this was like several years ago. This was had to be like in 2016. I think it was probably 2016 or 2017. And I just remember hearing that, and years later, I remember when I was like, okay, if I'm not going to be a pastor, because that was during the breakdown of me leaving church and like just really exploring all of who I am, accepting that I'm bisexual, accepting that, this is who I am, and I've had to be in a box, and God doesn't hate me, even though, this is who I am, right? So that was a lot of processing that period. But flash forward to current day when I was considering, where am I going to go with what God's put on my heart to do, to speak, to teach, to lead. Like, how can I do that if I'm not a pastor? And then I remember my conversation with that girl, and she's like, I had a life coach. And I was like, if this dread-headed, freaking, weed smoking, 2 pit bull owning, drives a pickup truck, just like not who you would think have a life coach. I'm like, if she had one, I'm like, well then, yeah, I can totally do this. So I just wanted to share that tidbit with you, that it's not just for, it's not what you think. It's not, oh my gosh, I don't know how to live my life, I need a coach. Think of a life coach is the same way you think of any other coach, right? There's basketball players, there's singers, there's actors, all of these people have a skill set or have something that they want to perfect, so they're hiring someone to help them perfect it or obtain that goal. That's what a life coach is. And then I'll really wrap it up with this. When you're picking a life coach or any kind of coach or any sort of person that you're going to have personal services from, you want to make sure that you click with them. Because a lot of times we'll go off of who has the nicest website, right? That's just whoever they hired, right? That's whoever they hired to do that. Or who has the most education, which is pretty dope too. Or we'll do off of like external factors. And people do this in the fitness space all the time. And I'm going to go live on that and like literally right after this. But the most important thing when it comes to opening up yourself to someone and asking them to help you create something new in your life is, are we aligned? Does this person not necessarily have the same viewpoints as me, but like, is their method of getting me to where I want to go, is that aligned with who I am and how I learn? Or do I see something in this person that I would like, whether they're a perfect human or not? Is there a boldness, a confidence about them that I would like, and I would like them to teach me how to do that? Those are the things that you look for when you're looking for a coach. Not, oh my gosh, they said, if you're looking for business coaches, oh my gosh, I can help you make this many thousands of dollars a month, and look at me and my flashy car, and look at me. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, you guys, people can rent cars. Some of these business coaches, what they can do is like, they can have significant others, and they their money's not just coming from their business, or maybe they started their business from an abundance from like their regular job in the 9-to-5 space, and so they're starting out being able to show you, look how good my life is, when you're going to be the reason why their life gets good. You know what I'm saying? So just spend some time investigating the people that you allow into your mind and into your heart, and to help steer the course of your life. Don't just go based off of vanity metrics, how many likes they have or how popular they are on social media. Really research and reach out to the person. Some of the people that have hired me have literally said, I've been watching you for years. I'm like, years, before they ever message me. And if you want to speed the process up, you can just message me anytime and start a conversation now. And I promise you, I'm in such a different mindset than I was 2 years ago. Like, the last thing that I want to do is try to pressure you to get onto a call, especially if you are not wanting it. Like, I'm in this energy of, I don't want to work with people who feel like they have to be here. I don't want to work with people who feel like they have to do the program or whatever. I want to work with women who are like, I'm so freaking excited about the next chapter of my life. Can you help me me get there faster? And can you help me get out of my own head so I can make it happen? Those are the kind of women that I work best with as a life coach. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to today. Just be on the lookout. So many things are happening this year, and my head is just like spinning with all of the things that I know that Mind and Body is going to do this year. And I'm just so freaking excited that you guys got to watch it all from the beginning, all the way from Body by Bonds to Boss Bod Academy to Mind and Body. Like, evolution is here, people. You get to evolve, you get to expand, and you get to become everything that you've ever dreamed of and more. But you got to do the work, boo-boo. So hope this message lands on the right ears. I love you guys. Have an amazing day. And you can catch me over on my other page, Siobhan Bonnie, or Mind and Body Fitness if you're on Instagram, and go live talking about the red flags that you need to avoid when you're looking to start your fitness journey. See you then. Take care. Love you guys.